this is what I want to talk about. All right, so Ahsoka, latest episode came out. I have to say, while this episode was a bit slow, it wasn't slow to the point where it was boring. There wasn't a lot of action. There wasn't much action in this episode, but that there didn't need to be. After an episode like what we got last week, for them to kind of take a step back, take things a little slow, and build the story, I think was perfect here. This was the episode that we got our live action debut of Thrawn, which was phenomenal. I think it was great. I know that people have this whole idea, this whole problem with Lars Mikkelsen playing Thrawn, but honestly, I think he did phenomenal, and I think he's going to do great. I mean, obviously, he was the voice in Rebels, so it's just going to be even better now. I do love, this new galaxy that they've gone to, and we see this new planet. But they're on a new planet outside of the galaxy, and it's cool. It's cool. It's different. It's nice to see them going somewhere else. And what's really cool is it seems this is the home planet of the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters of Dathomir actually come from this planet, and they were the first to learn to traverse using the Purgles, the space whales, to get to the other galaxy, which I think is a really cool little tidbit of information we never had before. But seeing Night Sisters in live action, Morgan is not a Night Sister. I always say she is, but she really isn't. These are the Night Sisters here. It was really cool. Really, really cool to see. I like how they called out Sabine, saying that she reeks of Jedi. That's just kind of cool little spin, and they know, like they understand, and they know that kind of stuff. But, oh yeah, again, the introduction to Thrawn with the Chimera showing up, and I loved how the Chimera was all just, it's been 10 years. It's a mess. It's in shambles. And then you see the night troopers, and everybody's like, oh, are they zombie troopers? I think they are. Why call them night troopers if they aren't resurrected or controlled by the Night Sisters? To me, I think that's just a really cool, fantastic aspect. Something different that we've never really seen in live action Star Wars before. And then you see next to Thrawn here, his right-hand guard, his right-hand man named Enoch. And Triton here says it best. He goes, Enoch's Roman gladiator-esque stormtrooper armor is instantly iconic. It is. It really is. There's people that are complaining about it. Like, why complain about something like that? It's cool. It's different. We want different. We want cool. We want to see fun things in Star Wars. This is something different and cool. I just don't understand why people are so weird about stuff like that. Let's see. What else did you say, Triton? I've not watched any Rebels or read either Thrawn trilogy, but it's testament to Filoni and Lars Mikkelsen that just from the few things I know about Thrawn, I can tell the show nailed the character. Absolutely. There's no other better way to put it. They nailed Thrawn. Oh, he's not as skinny as he is in an animated show. Dude's 60 years old, and it's not like he's fat. People are just ridiculous, I tell you. So we have Sabine, who is freed and allowed to go find Ezra finally, which is really cool, because we're going to finally see Ezra. Yay. And she kind of comes across these little rock people, turtle things. I thought they were great. I really thought they were great. But you have Baylan and Shin actually chasing after her. Shin's a little upset because Shin was like, Baylan, you said that she'd be free, that she'd be fine to go and do her own thing. And he goes, look, she can go find who she finds, but we're going after her. And Shin was kind of taken aback by that and not very happy, but Thrawn allows them to go and hunt down Sabine, and they go chasing after her. And they kind of stop at one point where Sabine actually had to fight off a few little baddies. And Baylan starts to talk about how the Jedi were, and how the Jedi, he missed the idea of the Jedi, but he understands that everything happens, and everything will always happen again, whether it's the Empire, the Sith, the Jedi. It just is all cyclical. It always continues to happen. But then he mentions something, that he's here because he was being called. Something or someone is calling him. And I know there's a lot of speculation online, some really cool speculations, specifically one of Abeloth, who has a connection to the Mortis brother, sister, and father from the Clone Wars. It's really cool if that's where they're going with it, but I'm interested. I'm interested to see where they're taking Balin. It just, sucks. It doesn't look like it's going to get wrapped up this season. Hopefully it does, but it doesn't look like it's going to. And Ray Stevenson passed away, so we're not going to get to see the conclusion of that story. Maybe, hopefully we do. Hopefully they finish it up in the next 2 episodes, but I don't know. And then there he is. There's our boy Ezra, finally in live action, wearing what appears to be like chainmail underneath his clothes. And he's excited to get home. There's some people who are saying, "Oh, I think he's a bad guy now." I don't know about that. I can't imagine that. You have Thrawn and Morgan talking about how they're going to be going back to the other galaxy, that they're loading some things into the Chimera to take with them. It looks like the Night Sisters are going to go with them. So I'm curious what the ultimate plan is here, because we thought it was just something simple as he's going to come and rally the Imperial remnants and bring them all together and, forge an attack against the New Republic. But it might be something different. I don't know. This episode was excellent. It was a great episode. A lot of story that's really going to build things up. We didn't see much of Ahsoka. She was in the very beginning of the episode with her and young Hao or young Hai Young or whatever his name is, the droid, and Hu Yang. That's it. And you find out that Hu Yang used to tell the young Jedi stories, and he talks about story 1, story 2, story 3, and Ahsoka's like, yeah, story 1 is the best, and then she asked him to tell her one of the stories, and he starts off a long time ago in a galaxy far, far. I thought that was great. Everybody's like, oh, is it Hu Yang that tells all these stories from Star Wars? Who knows? But it's still great. It's cool. I love seeing that kind of stuff. Just little things like that are really, really cool. I do really love it. Let's see. Hope we. All right. Triton says, hope we get a scene where a bunch of night troopers get blown up or mangled and just get back. It would be a cool way to reveal they are undead, like back up or something. Yeah, that'd be dope. That would be dope. Also, it's perfect that Thrawn's second in command has a very ornate Roman death mask type helmet. Thrawn's artistic influence definitely has seeped into Enoch's mindset. Yeah, agree. Trooper also says, not to mention Roman death masks were worn by descendants of those who the mask was made after. Perhaps this death mask is in memoriam of those who were lost in exile. Ezra looking like he's off the cover of Passion of the Christ. Yeah, he definitely does look like, maybe a Jesus or Moses type of character there for sure. It is funny. Triton says, I was literally going to type what you said regarding Balin. If Balin survives the season, how the hell are they going to handle Ray Stevenson's death? Look, Ray Stevenson has been phenomenal as Balin in this. There's so much nuance to his character. There's so much that gravitas that he brings to the screen. It's going to be difficult, but I truly hope that they decide to go the route of recasting. I think recasting would be the ideal option, if only because we need to see his story finished. So yeah, if he survives, I hope they do something great and they bring in somebody who has that same kind of presence on screen, but will make the role their own. It is a shame and it's sad, when the last, whether this is his last performance or not, but one of the last performances of an actor, you see how great it actually is. It is unfortunate. Trent says, I consider Ahsoka the real sequel trilogy. Makes sense that the character to follow after the Skywalkers would be the non-Skywalker character with the best claim to being an honorary Skywalker. I'm hearing this a lot. Not necessarily the Skywalker aspect of it, but the idea that this is how the sequels, in a sense, should have been. It should have been something like, we don't want to just see the First Order. Like, why is the First Order there? Like, seeing the Empire, the remnants coming back together and trying once, trying twice to get, like having that flip where, the original trilogy had the Rebel Alliance just really small and just they just kept trying to persist and get, a victory or big victories. They could have flipped that, and I just didn't see that happen. Trooper says Balin is one of the most three-dimensional characters I've seen from Filoni. His mysterious aura that he is covered in makes me want to know more. He's great. He's great. He's such a great character, and he's a character that, once all is said and done, we need to see the end of this arc, this story that this journey he's currently on. We need to see the end of this. But I wouldn't mind. Doesn't need to be a show, doesn't need to be animation. It could be a book, it could be even a video game, but to see a young Balin during Order 66 and then during the Empire, what he's doing off where he's at, that kind of thing. I think it'd be kind of cool to see that. To see why wasn't he around? What was he doing during that time? I think it'd be really interesting. But we'll see where this journey takes us, because maybe we find that all out. Maybe we see that.